right, glad to have you back with us right here on Sunrise. So welcome to another segment of Law and Order JA. And this morning, we'll be exploring victim services. The question sent in for today reads, I'm a single mother of 2 children, and I was physically assaulted by my boyfriend in my house during a heated conversation. I do not condone this type of behavior and have since taken steps against him. Unfortunately, my 8-year-old daughter witnessed the incident. Now, I am extremely concerned for her because she has become very fearful, very quiet, and hardly eating. How can I help her? Director of Victim Services Branch in the Ministry of Justice joins us this morning to help our Sunrisers with some legal advice. And we're going to welcome Dion Dawn Binns. Good morning.
Hi,
how are you?
Good morning, Yendi. Good morning, Dennis. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Heavy topic.
Yes.
Unfortunately, in your line of work, you deal with heavy topics.
Definitely.
The first thing I would say is that, of course, people think of justice, they think of punitive justice. So they think about dealing with the person who did the wrong. But there's not enough focus sometimes on restoring the victim to a place of complete wellness. Mm-hmm. From a victim services approach, what is the gamut of services that you offer, first of all?
So firstly, I want to agree with you that traditionally, the system focuses on punitive justice. Mm-hmm. And so victim services was brought about to bring balance to that system. Yeah. So now we have a focus also on the person who was harmed. Mm-hmm. And so victim services provides psychosocial and emotional support and services to victims of crime. Once you're a victim of crime, it doesn't matter what crime it is, our doors are open to you. And so we do counseling, we do grief therapy, different types of emotional support, crisis intervention, you name it. We focus on the psychological impact of the crime on the individual.
Mm. What's interesting about this, Dion Dawn, is that it's such a subjective experience in that treatment and support obviously varies, as you just shared, but would look different per case.
Definitely.
And would look different with each matter before you. How do you establish what is required based on what is presented?
So we have a victim-centered approach. And so, for instance, in the scenario that came in, this individual would have been a victim of domestic abuse, domestic violence, and her 8-year-old would have witnessed this. And so we're treating not only with the 8-year-old who she's so concerned about, but also with her as the primary victim, the one who was directly harmed. Now, what we do is we do trauma assessments and other types of assessment to determine what the needs of the victim are. Because we utilize a victim-centered approach. Our approach is about the needs of the victim. Like you rightfully said, it's not a generic approach. Each individual presents differently. And so based on the results of the assessments that we do, we determine what needs to be focused on psychologically, if there are any other needs, such as if this person needs to be moved out of the home that she's in, that sort of thing. And we assist where we can and refer them where necessary to get a holistic approach to their needs.
The interesting thing about this scenario and so many others like it, it highlights the fact that there's often a displacement of victimization because the primary victim is a person who sustained the physical abuse.
Yes.
But we understand that by virtue of witnessing the abuse, that person becomes a victim also.
Definitely.
And so is it reasonable to say that there is a lot of what you do is focused on women and children, and by ending up in that situation, you're dealing with intimate partner violence in large measure?
Yes, we do have a lot of those cases, and I will share that about 70% of our clientele on an annual basis are women, are females.
Wow.
And we see approximately 50% of our clients annually are children.
Wow.
Yeah. So as you know, these are the most vulnerable groups. And yes, we see intimate partner violence, but also a lot of sexual abuse cases. Yeah. And so we find that in treating with them, we try as much as is possible to tailor our support not only because they're women, because they're female, because they're children, but just because of their vulnerability.
Can we speak about, just as an extension of that, do we have a bit of an experience in our society where there are men who are victims but may not seek help and support and may not come forward because they're probably afraid of being perceived as weak or not being able to hold them stress? And could that be, do we need to make an adjustment there to say, when we say victim, we're not specifically being gender-based
Yes.
here. We're saying everyone can be a victim and men can also come forward and access the services of the branch.
Definitely. And it's one of the disparities that we see.
Yeah.
Culturally, men are not the ones to come and sit down with a counselor to talk
You
about
can't
their
jelly
problems.
back. You understand?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? And you know all the stigma and the things that can go along with that. But we try to encourage persons. Our doors are open to everyone. We see men, women, children. It doesn't matter your age group. Our doors are open to you. And I want to tell them also that our services are free, free of cost. Yeah, all the programs that we provide, free of cost. The Ministry of Justice has ensured that all persons can access the services that we have to offer.
Final question that I want to ask you then, again, in your line of work, you deal with a lot of heavy issues. Do you feel, how do you, when you see progress, what does progress look like in the victims that you provide support for?
So let us go back to the scenario that was shared. In this situation, the child is exhibiting symptoms of trauma. Her mother says that she has become fearful, there are changes, she stopped
Quiet.
eating, that sort of thing. So when we work with the individual, one of the measures that we can see to know that improvement is taking place is how they are coping, right? And so one of the things I wanted to do is to commend the mother in this scenario because she took the initiative, She took the initiative to seek legal redress. Some persons, they seek other forms of, dealing with the issue. But in this case, she would have seen the symptoms in her child and reached out to see how can I help my child. And so once she comes in, once the child is seen, if the matter even goes to court, we also have a program whereby we help to prepare them to become ready for the process and to know what to expect, because going to court in and of itself is a daunting experience for an adult, much less a child. So we have those types of programs as well where we help to prepare them. And so another measure is when we are able to see our clients go to court and do well in terms of being able to express themselves, in terms of being able to tell their story and, just getting their story across so that there can be a positive outcome for them.
Thank you so much for the work that you do. Thank you very much to your colleagues who do the work as well.
Thank you. And before I go, I would just like to encourage persons. We can be reached through the Ministry of Justice website. That's moj.gov.jm. The Ministry of Justice toll-free number, which is 888-JUSTICE. And also via the social media platforms, which is at MOJ Official JM. And that's Facebook and Instagram. We're also on YouTube, Ministry of Justice.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Our
Thank you
guest
too.
has been Dion Dawn Binns. She's the Director of Victims Services Branch in the Ministry of Justice. Now, talk about I Believe I Can Fly. Poetic Wings is up next after the break. Stay with us.